welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm predicting United States versus Mexico in the 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup Final. La predicción de los Estados Unidos contra México en la Copa Oro Final de la CONCACAF. We have the final tomorrow night. So right now I'm going to predict the final and tell you what I think is going to happen. Of course, how we got here, of course, the United States beat Trinidad 5-0. They beat them 5-0 to absolutely start their tournament on a absolute amazing start. Of course. Then they struggled past Saudi Arabia 1-0. 2-1 win over Haiti, a penalty shootout win over Costa Rica, and a 2-1 win over Guatemala, where they honestly struggled and probably should have at least went to penalties. And they move on. No losses, 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 penalty shootout win, and they get what they need out of this tournament, and they're in the final. The bare minimum they were supposed to do, they've done with this C team. Diego Luna, really the only player that is scary on this team under Pochettino. Diego Luna has saved this team's ass time after time. If they win this trophy, it's because of him having a game of his life, and probably the tournament of his life, but especially the game of his life. But will that happen? I'm not sure. Of course, the penalty shootout freeze. Matt Freeze was the savior, beating Costa Rica there. Patrick Agyemang is not capitalized and produced to the point that people would want him to. I'm not saying he's a bad player like a lot of people are. I'm just saying he hasn't produced. Also, Malik Tillman. He's had his moments. He should. Even though he's still not looked as good as Luna, he's had his moments. He's had his moments, Malik Tillman. He should. He's going to a big European team next season. He should. He was already there, but he's going to a bigger European team than he already played on. So he should be the best player on this team, and he's not. Interesting. He's playing more to the level of his brother than anything else, which we've seen that before on the USMNT. Funnily enough, oh yeah, the Club World Cup. Yep, that's why. I forgot about that, because they had to go. Right. Damn, we could have seen Timothy and Malik play together. Well, nope. Club World Cup ruined that. Right. With that being said, United States struggled their way to this final. They did. Let's just be real. They did. With that being said, Mexico arguably did as well, but with an A team. A 3-2 win over the Dominican Republic to start their tournament. A scrappy win against Suriname. A win. A draw against Costa Rica. They should have won, I should say. Offside goal takes that away. 2-0 win over Saudi Arabia. 1-0 win over Honduras. Tight, but they should have won it by more. But Honduras was kicking the ever-loving shit out of them. That's why they weren't. Yeah, Mexico has scraped their way to a final as well. That would be true. But I will say Mexico has shown more growth. The longer this tournament's gone, you've seen this team grow together and finally find their identity, truthfully. That isn't just Raul Jimenez FC. They've actually found an identity. Their offense looks like it's starting to click. Now they're finally playing a team where they should be able to click and actually score. That's the thing that scares me about this final for the USA. See, Mexico is actually starting to click as an offense. They're starting to put things together. They found their best 11. They found the players that actually work. Charlie Rodriguez is nowhere to be seen. Even with the injury of Luis Chavez, he is still nowhere to be seen. That's a good thing for Mexico. Not a good thing for the United States. I will say this. Raul still scoring his goals. Montes, he has a good couple of goals. The back four, looking good. Gilberto Mora, dude 16. and he might just be the answer for Mexico. They sent him to the Gold Cup instead of the Toulon tournament to see if he had any shot. He took it with open arms. He grabbed that damn shot and said, I'm taking it. That kid is a talent. Mateo Chavez, pretty damn good too. Marcel Ruiz, they're starting to find their players. The United States, on the other hand, has only found out that Diego Luna might actually be good enough to send to the World Cup next summer, which that's a good thing. But other than that, what have they found out? Nothing. Matt Freese, good at penalty shootouts. Cool. It ain't going to go there tomorrow night. I'll tell you that right now for free. With that being said as well, Malik Tillman, not as dominant as we thought he could be, because this is the situation where he should have dominated and he didn't. Patrick Ajimong, not the guy at striker as like everybody else has been this whole since Trinidad situation, as in the first time. Okay. Really, it's Diego Luna. That's what they found out. That's a guy who may actually be on the roster next summer, and not just be there to be there, but actually do something at the World Cup. Other than that, that's all they figured out. And that's the bad thing with a C team. And you could say, but Ryan, the last time they had a C team at a tournament like this, well, they won against Mexico's A team. That's the cope the USA fans use to say they could win this tournament, because that's all it is cope. Let me tell you, that Mexico team was absolute shit, even if it was their A team. This Mexico team has struggled their way through a tournament. They have scraped their way to a final, just like the USA have. But again, as I said, this Mexico team's starting to figure out its identity under Vasco. Besides Raul Jimenez FC, they actually have very good younger players joining the squad, playing well, connecting well with Raul, connecting well with Piojo Alvarado, connecting well with Alexi Vega. He's actually playing well as well. He might go back or go to Europe, actually, which that would suck for Toluca, but good for Mexico. When you look at it, on the balance of things, this is Mexico's A roster, but they're actually finding an identity. Because they're struggling, you're like, well, but they're struggling too. But it's different. It's different. Mexico is struggling while also connecting well. Watch the game, not the score line. Watch the game, not look at the scorers. Watch how they've been playing since the Suriname game. Costa Rica, even though they didn't score, Keylor Navas played out of his damn head. For the first time at a Gold Cup in what, God knows, forever? He played out of his head. And then the offside goal by Santi made them draw the game. The Saudi Arabia game, they connected well, but Saudi Arabia tried to CONCACAF them. The backups of Saudi Arabia, mind you. And they should have won by more. But the second half was more what I would have expected. They started to finally get it, and boom. Honduras, even though Honduras kicked the ever-loving shit out of them and made it 1-0, you could still see Mexico finding those connections, finding those passes, finding where to go. Mora to Raul. Pass to Santi. Of course, passing to Santi. Passing to that front three. Finding combinations. Here's the bad thing. If you're the United States. If you're the United States, you are playing a Mexico team that you should park the bus against and kick the ever-loving shit out of, and you might win. But the USA won't do that because they think they're better than that. Right now, you're not. You're not. You've played a bunch of nobodies. The sad part is you couldn't play Canada. Canada screwed that all up for you. If you beat Canada in the semifinal, would I have been pissed off? Probably. But you would have been, okay, maybe you actually can beat Mexico. You've beat a bunch of nobodies. You've beat a bunch of nobodies and has-beens. We don't know where Costa Rica will be. We know they have some potential, but they're still a nobody compared to even the C team of the United States. You've beat the nobodies in Trinidad, nobodies in Haiti, nobodies of Saudi, somebodies of Costa Rica, but still not people, still not the best. And then the nobodies of Guatemala, even though they fought their asses off. And I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean that as Even though they fought their ass off and they look like they're on a forward trajectory, they're still not a big dog. By nobody's, I mean you're not a big dog. You're not USA, Canada, Mexico, Panama. You are none of those four. You could say, but how are you a big dog if you lose to Guatemala? Well, hell, the USA almost tried. They're lucky they didn't go to extra time. Probably should have. And penalties, well, we don't know what would have happened. They might have screwed it up too. They're just lucky they bounced on 2 Guatemalan mistakes and only allowed them to score 1, even though they should have scored more. With a 90-10 Guatemalan crowd in St. Louis, which I'll guarantee you, once again, Guatemala is not known for having a big diaspora in the Metro East. That was traveling fans. That was traveling fans, the bulk of them. Y'all got 90-10 in St. Louis. I don't know how that's possible. Either way, the United States thinks they're too damn good to park the bus against Mexico. And that's why this Mexico team, who's starting to figure things out, still have a pretty damn good 11 without Charlie Rodriguez, calamity ass, playing. Mexico's going to win 3-1 tomorrow night. Mexico's winning 3-1. They're winning the Gold Cup back-to-back. They're going to win the Gold Cup and retain it. This time against the USA. 2 trophies in 1 year for Mexico. Are they back, is the question. And I'm starting to say, you know what? They might be. They might actually be. With that being said, Mexico, in my opinion, wins the Gold Cup. Because in the end, they have the better squad. 2021 will not strike twice. Lightning will not strike twice for a USAC team. Which really makes Pochettino look bad when you think about it, because Greg Berhalter, either way, whatever. Lightning will not strike twice. 2021 will not repeat itself. Mexico wins this time with an A team versus the Mexico or the USA. Mexico wins against the USAC team. So, with that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central, for the Formula One British Grand Prix live, and we will review it. I will riff on the Grand Prix. I won't write anything down. I will review it, tell you what I thought, the results, and what I thought about the Grand Prix after it's over. Then, tomorrow evening, we will be wearing our best redneck business casual when I go live and review the 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup Final, USA versus Mexico. We'll see if my prediction is right. It probably will be. It's not Canada, or it's not a team I care about, so it's going to be right, because that's normally what happens, right? With that being said, we'll be here twice, 2 lives, 2 reviews tomorrow. Monday, we have the Club World Cup quarterfinal recap, semifinal predictions. Tuesday, Chelsea, Fluminense versus Chelsea live, RSR. Wednesday, we have PSG versus Real Madrid live, RSR, and Forge versus Montreal quarterfinal, CanChamp quarterfinal second leg, live, RSR. 2 lives, 2 RSRs on Wednesday. Thursday, Club World Cup semifinal recap. Friday, Club World Cup final prediction. Saturday, Toronto FC versus Atlanta United live, RSR. And Sunday the 13th, we have the Club World Cup final live, RSR. So that's what the next 8 days look like. We are still pretty damn busy, some off days, but still going to be a lot of stuff to do and deal with, and there you go. So with that being said, I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, we have a good Gold Cup final, and we also have a good British Grand Prix. Something in the morning, something at night. Let's have some fun with it. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Ryan, and I'm out. Peace. See you.